Hey everyone, this big pile of jigsaw pieces just arrived today and it's a motorcycle dolly. I was actually going to make one of these things, but honestly I couldn't make one for the price that this one cost. It would have been much more expensive. Anyway, this is going to make it a lot easier for me to move my motorcycle around the garage. Why would I want to do that? Well, if you've ever had to do the 57-point turn to move a motorcycle around a garage, you would appreciate to be able to move it a lot easier. First things first, sort out the nuts and bolts, etc. And one thing I noticed that I had a set of instructions that came with it, and looking at them there was 3 sets of instructions, and I thought, oh, that's weird. And then of course when I put my glasses on I realised that yeah, it's 3 instructions the same, however they're all in a different language. So there you go. I should have put my glasses on before I started. Well, I'm a little bit further along. I decided to put it up on stands because lying on the ground trying to do up bolts, it was starting to get a little bit sore on my back. This dover here, that thing there, and I'll just swing across here, get everybody seasick. I have to admit, it took a little bit of figuring out because the instructions have been written, I reckon, by someone who is really familiar with this piece of gear, and they're written for someone who is also really familiar with this gear. So I'll press on, but that little bit seemed to take forever. Well, that's the finished product. I'll just give it a shove there with my safety boots on, and it moves really freely, and all I have to do now is put the bike on it. Okay, slight problem. That nut in the middle there ta-da, has a dome head on it. Now it was through the other side before I've turned it up the other way, because that bolt was actually catching on the ground and stopping the whole thing moving. It's about a week later and somebody reviewed my video and said I should show the bike being pushed onto the stand, which is a really good idea, and it's something I never thought about. I expect because I'm just new to vlogging. Now I'm going to be walking around here because there's a couple of things that I have to show. Now, this here, oh, screwing this up, haven't I? This here point is a steel bar. It goes across there, and I think that's to stop the bike rolling off. Now, originally, I tried to push the bike onto the stand with that thing there, and I failed miserably. All it did was push the stand along the floor. So, to push the bike on, I'm going to undo that, push it out, create havoc, chuck that over there, and to my amazement I found out this is actually a brake. Click, and that actually stops it moving. So maybe I would have had more success if I'd activated that the first time. The brake works really well, and also I didn't have any problems activating that to get it off. Now the bike weighs, it's 180 kilos dry, so I don't know how much fluid it takes. Probably add maybe another kilo at the most. So it's fairly heavy, but I didn't have any problems with that. The other thing I want to show everybody is this little piece of kit here. It's just a block of wood with a metal plate and a circle that I had for my bike to stand it up just a little bit higher than it would normally go, or straighter I should say. I found it really handy because if you're stuck for room in your garage, the less your bike leans, the better off you are, and I'm stuck for room. Okay, let's put the bike up on the stand. I haven't put up the side stand because I find that it's just a little bit easier for me to do it this way. Now that's how the bike would stand on the stand, but I have my little piece of wood and metal here, and I'm just going to shove that into place. And there's a couple of bolts sticking up that were actually touching the ground to start with, and I put them up the other way, and I don't want my tyres sitting on those, so we'll just check and make sure. And there we go. Now I'm going to put the pin back. And drop it off the brake. Really quite easy. Getting back to the 17 pushes backwards and forwards to get the bike into place. To get this back into its little hidey hole, just give it a shove, and it moves quite easily, I suppose. So maybe my criticism of the wheels was maybe a little bit harsh, but it's going in quite easily. I'm always a little bit careful and ginger because the bike's standing up fairly straight, and I certainly don't want it to fall over. Done. And that's it. Well, there it is. The bike's tucked up at the back of the garage. Now, if the car had been in the left hand side of the garage, to get it into that spot would have been about 14 backwards and forwards, and it would have been a bit of hard work. But although the trolley, or dolly as it's called, pushes quite well, I think it would benefit from having probably more expensive wheels, but of course that pushes the price right up. But I'm quite happy with that. As you can see, there's not a lot of space between the car and the bike, so standing up a little bit straighter just gives me that little bit more room. Anyway, that's the motorcycle dolly, so if you've made it this far, thanks very much for watching. Cheers!